The 19th East Africa Business Network Trade and Investment Conference is brought to you by Kurunzi News in association with the following partners.
Welcome back to this broadcast from the sidelines of the East African Business Network Trade and Investment Conference here in Irving, Texas. We are talking to the different people that are exhibiting different products here. And this time around, I have a gentleman. I'm going to ask him to introduce himself. But they have on display a very, very interesting range of products, which is going to talk about. And we will try and, engage on the different aspects of this product. First of all, tell us your name and the company that you run and the products that you have on display here.
Be happy to. My name is Bernie Heckmann, and I'm chairman of Help People Team. But Help People Team is made up of a team of teams. We have three major product lines that we're representing while we're here. One is a product line that's likely to be the biggest health breakthrough ever. We have 4 products in that line alone, and one solves what we think is one of the biggest problems in the world today, and that's dementia. We believe that people are their brains aren't working as well as they get younger and younger and more people. So we went out and searched the world. We look at over 1,000 products every single year and have done it for the last 38 years. Out of that, we're normally able to find about one product a year that we're really interested in, or a product line. Mm-hmm. And so out of that, we found Numi Corporation. Numi is a fascinating company. You can find all about it by going to a place called Numi, NEUMI.com/help people, all run together. NEUMI.com/help people. And there you'll discover their products as an example. One product is a brain product. One is just help you feel better product. One is a woman's product that balances women's health in hormones balancing. And another is a skin product. It just helps you look better. But when I say helps, these are the biggest breakthroughs you've ever seen, right? Let me give you the background of what really makes our products unique. The company has a proprietary technology, in other words, exclusive technology, that we're able to take molecules and unclump them into nanoparticles. Nanoparticle being like a human hair is about 80,000 to 100,000 nanometers thick. Mm-hmm. We're able to get stuff down in the 10 nanometer range, 10 to 100 range. And then we wrap it in ultra pure water. Mm-hmm. When we've wrapped it in ultra pure water, then you take 2 teaspoons under your tongue of what looks like water, but in it are the molecules that we want to put into your body. And as it goes under your tongue, if you swish for as little as 30 seconds, just swash it back and forth, it's going into your bloodstream. We tell people to do it more like 3 to 5 minutes when you can. But this is maybe the biggest breakthrough ever because it delivers key nutrients directly to the bloodstream, and 70 seconds later, after your blood's gone through your body one time, the molecules are so small, they actually go into the cell. And
just your thought. One of the things I have seen on your table over there, and I hope we'll be able to get some material to be able to show those who are watching, is that it's an anti-aging product or something like that. Please tell us about that, because that's an interesting perspective.
It's anti-aging. As an example, I've been on the product 2.5 years. If you would have seen me 2.5 years ago, I was a wrinkled mess, right? And today I am 79. I'll be actually 79 October 14th, so a couple of days from now. Mm-hmm. And I have more energy, mental clarity, and focus than I've ever had in my life. Mm-hmm. And so the one product we have, our first launch product, and when I say these are breakthrough products, I'll give you an idea. In 3 years, we've expanded from 0 to 72 countries and 186,000 distributors, shipping out of 24 warehouses around the globe. So, I mean, that's a pretty significant track record.
So where do you make these products?
The products these are all made in the United States. They're all made in one spot in Salt Lake City. But after they're made there, they're put into 300-gallon totes, and then they go out to get bottled and, testing and all that. But we actually control all the manufacturing in one location for the world.
Okay, would you be able to give us a price range for the different products that you all are, and perhaps give us an idea of which of the 4 main products that you have is the fastest moving one, and perhaps why?
The fastest moving one is undoubtedly one we only released on the 1st of August, I think, just a couple months ago, right? 1st of August. And that product is called Neuro, and it's endorsed by the American Brain Council. And basically, most people in under 10 or 15 minutes, everybody within an hour, say, I have better mental clarity, better focus, better energy, and it helps diminish your chances of getting dementia. It's feeding the brain with the nutrients it needs, right? So each product do different things, but that would be, in my opinion, our number one product. Our sales went up 30% the first month we introduced it in just the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Keeping in mind our sales are coming from 72 countries, right? So before it goes around the world, we have different products that are launched, but all products are not in every continent, right? Like Kenya, currently we have one product. We're adding more products in there as fast as they'll let us bring them in, right?
Okay, tell us why it is important for you to be displaying or exhibiting your products at this investment conference for East and Central Africa.
Well, we're really heavily involved, and I'm chairman of a group called Help People Team. In Haiti, we're known as Help Patients Help Haiti. In Africa, we're known as Help Africans Help Africa. And this is a way for us to help expand our presence in the African continent. But we're working on a global basis, and the problems are not unique around the world. We all have the same issues, right? We all want to live longer. We all want to look better.
Yeah,
right?
we all want to live healthier.
Right, we all want to live healthier and happier. Our brains feel better, right? Mm-hmm. So each of our products have a specific purpose, but the uniqueness of our products is the delivery system of going sublingual in. Now, you take this our first product, which is certainly the very first one we launched 3 years ago. That product is primarily made of glutathione, and I'll give you just a quick story on glutathione, right? Most people, even doctors, really don't know hardly anything about it, yet it's the most researched molecule in the history of the world. If you go to PubMed.gov, you'll find 186,000 studies on this subject, this one molecule. Right?
Why is it so important and nobody talks about it?
It fascinates us. We never quite figured it out. I'll tell you why maybe is that, first of all, let me tell you how important it really is, right? Mm-hmm. While it does 400 things in the human body that we know of, it may do 1,000, but we know we can identify 400 things it does. Mm-hmm. One thing, like we all think, well, you can't live without oxygen, and everybody knows that. But what they don't know is that when the oxygen goes into your lungs, the thing that takes the oxygen flips it so that it can go through the bloodstream through the red blood cells, the hemoglobin. What does that is glutathione. You have it in every cell of your body. If you didn't, you would be absolutely dead. Every plant, every animal, every human would be dead if they had none of it. But here's the catch. You make as much as you're ever going to make at about 20 years old. And then every 10 years after that, and this is if you're healthy. If you're not healthy, it's worse. Every 10 years, you make somewhere between 8 and 15% less of it. So when you get down by your 50s or 60s, even if you're healthy, you're still making half of it. And in terms of anti-aging, of the 78 conditions that are known as aging, all of them are identified with low glutathione levels. But it does more than just there. That's just one facet, right? One thing. In terms of athletics performance, I'll give you an example. One person we have on it, a guy named Bill Gillespie. Bill, 15 years ago, he set a world record for bench pressing, and he set the world record was 804 pounds. He was a fitness and conditioning coach for Seattle Seahawks and Liberty University. It just was, his whole life was weightlifting, right? So he was able to bench press, and you can't imagine, certainly you and I are never going to bench press 804 pounds, right? So 10 years later go by, and he can only bench press. He's now 59 years old, not 49. And 10 years go by. This is up to about 4 or 5 years ago. And he could only bench press 720 pounds. Aging, we decline, right?
Yep.
He went on this product, and he did his last bench press and retired from bench pressing at 62. That was about a year and a half ago. At 62, he retired from bench pressing. His last bench press was 30% above his best in his lifetime at 1,128 pounds. And now everything I'm telling you is documented, track record, no drugs. I mean, public records, right? This happened.
And that will take me to the question in terms of athletics performance. And I say that because I have a bit of an understanding.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be, would you recommend this product to active athletes?
To any athlete, absolutely. Let me just get a quick example, right? Glutathione, we just had 19 double-blind tests done in Europe, medical clinics that work only with athletes, right? This is what the results came back. And just use one type of athlete. So it's running. Well, running applies to lots of things, but football, basketball, baseball, whatever. But just runners, right? Runners with this product. If you had two identical runners, let's say they're identical twins, one takes it, one doesn't. 5 minutes later, they go have a race. When it's said and done, the one that took the product can go 16.8% longer before they get lactic acid buildup. That's like when you hit the wall as an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so...
But the question then is, would this not be classified as a performance enhancing?
Absolutely not, because it's a natural body product already in your body. What we're doing is adding more of what you already have in you. Okay? So it's proven not to be, you could test it all day long. It won't test. It's out of the system very fast, but it's not like anything you'd imagine. It's just having more of what you already have in your body. Mm-hmm. And it's the thing that's a soul detoxifier in the human body. It's what takes out toxins. And there's no one you've ever known in your life that didn't have at least 200 toxins in their body.
Okay. Let's come back to 38 years ago. What was the motivation that got you into this kind of business? Perhaps I can imagine there's a lot of research that goes into it. What was the incentive for you to get into this?
My number one incentive, at that point, I was managing a group of 220,000 insurance agents worldwide, living pretty good life, right? A couple of private jets and traveling the world and $500,000 aviation budget, all that. God saw fit to drop me into the country of Haiti without knowing I was going. That shifted my life, and I learned that God was number one, family was number two, and my enterprise or employment was number three. And I was fortunate enough to learn to be able to retire, which most people dream of doing. I was able to do it several times in my life. And each time I came to this conclusion: if you retire with the thought in your mind that you're going to do nothing, that's the beginning of death. So I decided to devote my life to God's will and to get out of my will. And I became focused on what can I do to help make it a better world. And as a result, I don't work for a living any longer. I am retired because I have the energy and the passion for doing what I love, and that's helping people. Right? So I like to help people globally on many fronts. As I said earlier, I look at over 1,000 things every year to find one. And currently we have 3 things we're working heavily with. One is this line of nutritional products that the key is the delivery system. Second one, we think is a huge problem in the world, and it's called rebar. You know what rebar is? It's an iron rod that's inside concrete. And that's why you see all these bridges and seawalls crumbling, because when the iron rusts, the concrete gets cracks in it and then it starts to fall off. Well, we focus on making rebar that's made out of the salt. That's rock that comes out of volcanoes, and it's processed into fiber, and that fiber is spun into like 16 strands and woven in to what looks like rebar, and it is rebar, but with the process, but it's superior, and here's why: because it comes out of lava rock and it's woven together. It's 2.5 times stronger than normal iron rebar, and it's 70% lighter, and it's price competitive. So we think that'll go a long way in helping construction.
Let's talk about the structure of the business. And you said, and you know, this is reality that we've got to deal with. At 79 in a few days,
Yes.
how is the structure of the company in terms of succession and making sure that the work you've done over the last close to 4 decades does not stop when your energy is a little lower than it could be right now, and when you no longer feel the motivation to run around? So how is that coming through?
I'm likely to have that motivation and that energy as long as God leads me here, because I'm just energized, right? These products do it for me.
Yeah, and that's why I said, like, when you...
But one of the things that I obsess on is how to make it pass on. Like currently I'm in the middle of finishing up a book called Think God and Grow Truly Rich. And it's a composition of all the things I've learned through my years of how to grow things, right? And my background is a very broad background, so I get to see things maybe that others wouldn't see. When I say that, let me give you an example. I was full-time in the computer industry in 1963. Yeah, that was before there were desktops, before there were laptops, before there were notebooks. They were just big buildings of computers, okay? I focused on artificial intelligence software. So I started learning early in life, and let me give you probably the most important thing I could impart today is if someone doesn't believe in God, they should study the human body. Because today, in my opinion, based on all my experience and research, the human body is made up, like your body is made up of around 37 trillion cells. I could make a good argument that one of those cells is doing more complex work and is more complex than the most complex thing ever created by man, including the Saturn V rocket and the moon lander or the biggest computer in the world. Your whole body is running on 100 watts. Your brain is working on about 20 watts. If you did the same thing in the fastest computer we know today that your human body is doing right now, like you and I as we're sitting here, many processes are going on without us thinking about it. That are being controlled by our brain. And this is a point I really want to make is simply this. Nothing has ever been made as complex as the human brain. That's why one of our products is focused on feeding your brain what it needs so it doesn't get unhealthy.
Thank you so much. I know we are talking from the sidelines of the East African Business Network Conference, and I really do hope that we'll be able to get you another time and be able to talk about your story. You're talking about, interesting stuff, fascinating kind of, storyline that we would like our audience to be able to interact with when we get another opportunity to speak on diaspora perspectives, and I hope we will be able to do that. But for now, I just want you to put out your parting shot to the person watching you right now, and you can watch straight at that camera over there and speak a word to them as your parting shot.
Well, my number one parting shot is nothing has ever been made more powerful than the human brain, and God made that. No computer program has ever done anything that hasn't first been done inside the human mind. All research to make better computers is done by looking at the human brain. And we're not even close to it today, right? So that's the first. The second is to really take care of your brain, number one, because the brain drives 78 organs. Those 78 organs are all made up of cells. And all of this stuff is so intricately together that what you eat, what you breathe, what you drink makes a difference. And if you want to be able to do the maximum number of God's work, you must treat your body properly. And I guess the last is, would be this. If I had to impart anything on anybody, it would be if you take the alphabet backwards, starting at G. So you go G, F, E first, right? That's God, first and foremost. Second is family and friends. If you have a spouse, then that's first there. And then E, if you're enterprise or your employment, if you work for someone else, that's third. First thing is to get those three things in order. The next is to go to DCVA, which stands for dream first. Dream and foremost. I mean, dream without limits. Just let your mind dream. And don't worry about the E's, what I call the E's. The education, the economics, or the experience. You don't have to have any of that. Just dream. Out of those dreams, C is conceive one thing that you believe is your passion, right? And for example, you say, what do you mean by passion? So let me ask you this question. If you inherited $10 million tonight, somehow it got in your bank account, it was legal, paid for, what would you do? If your first answer is you'd quit your job, then you're working for money. You're not working for your passion, right? Because that's
it makes
a
sense.
big important thing, right? If you say to me, oh, Bernie, I like that money in my bank account, and I'm not going to quit my job, though I like what I'm doing, then you were in your passion, right? It's something when you wake up in the morning, you want to be doing it. So you want to conceive that one thing that you believe will make you happier than anything, and it's God's will for you. Then the B, coming down alphabetically, is you believe it, and then you get one or more other people to believe it with you. Then I believe it's spiritually mandated that A, the achievement or the accomplishment will always happen. In other words, it's the secret of all accomplishment is to go through these steps. God, family, enterprise, keep those in order, then dream, conceive, believe, achieve. It's that simple. That's part of the book I'm telling you about. Think God and grow truly rich. So that'd be my best advice. Then after that is be open. Don't prejudge anybody or anything, because you will never know where God's going to take it.
You will never know where God will take it, and obviously we do not know where God will take it, but what we do know is that we will continue to have these conversations and to be able to bring them to you. This time around, we're coming to you from the sidelines of the East African Business Network Trade and Investment Conference happening here in Irving, Texas, United States. And we will continue to have these conversations right here on Kurunzi News. I am Milton Nyakundi. Thank you for watching.